Welcome back. Now for your 5-day weather forecast, we go outside to Sandra DeGrandis.
For your weekend weather, expect both sun and light showers. Now, here's your complete 5-day weather forecast. Today will be sunny with cloudy periods with a seasonal high of 15 and a low of 9 overnight. Tomorrow there's an 80% chance of rain, so expect drizzle throughout the day with a high of 12 and a low of 9. Sunday will be sunny with partial cloudiness, with only a 20% chance of rain, with a high of 12 and a low of 7. On Monday, bring your umbrellas because there's an 80% chance of showers, with a high of 15 and a low of 8 overnight. On Tuesday, there's a 40% chance of rain, so expect sun with isolated showers, with a high of 10 and a low of 6. And that's all for your 5-day weather forecast. Have a great weekend. Now, back to you in the studio.
Thanks, Sandra. Now turning to national and international news. Signed, sealed, and delivered, Canada and Europe have signed a free trade agreement that will allow both sides greater access to each other's markets. The deal was signed this morning and will allow Canada to increase imports of European cheeses. In exchange, Europe will import more Canadian beef and pork. Canadian farmers will have to start using hormone-free products to accommodate European markets. Prime Minister Stephen Harper says the pact is a historic win for the country. Many Canadian dairy farmers disagree, saying this will bring more competition to the cheese market.
AIDS prevention and harm reduction groups are calling for clean needle and syringe programs in Canadian prisons. The groups say the programs that provide clean needles to inmates who use drugs would protect them from infection and prevent the spread of disease. The government says it currently does not allow the distribution of sterile injection equipment and has no plans to change that policy. Reports say HIV and hepatitis C rates are higher in prisons than out. Advocates say they will continue to promote the issue in hopes to further the debate.
Supposedly deceased Florida shooting suspect Alex Varga has been found living in Alberta. Varga opened up to CBC about the bizarre situation in 2006. Varga was involved in a heated dispute with friend Keith Pryor. Pryor was shot 4 times and left with serious injuries. Shortly after, Pryor took his own life. Varga fled the scene of the crime and traveled to his birthplace of Hungary. Varga's wife registered him as legally dead and collected survivors' benefits from his pension plan. In the meantime, all charges against Varga were dropped. In 2012, Varga moved to Edmonton and is considered a free man.
The beginning of a honeymoon ended in tragedy when newlywed Shannon Amy Guy died in a balcony collapse at a Mexico resort on Wednesday. The Ottawa area couple was staying at the Oasis Tulum resort in the Mayan Riviera. Husband Paul Guy was taking a photo of his wife on the balcony when the railing collapsed behind her. The 24-year-old was a mother of 2 daughters. The Department of Foreign Affairs is investigating the accident and arrangements are being made to return Guy's body to Canada.
Alice Munro has declined her invitation to Stockholm to claim her Nobel Prize for Literature, citing health problems. The ceremony will take place on December 10th. There has been no announcement of who will accept the award on her behalf. The Academy announced the 82-year-old author's win last week and titled her a Master of the Contemporary Short Story. Munro is the 13th woman to receive the prestigious prize and the 110th Nobel laureate in literature.
And now with your sports news, here's Jonathan Rumley.
The Humber women's fastball team is fighting for gold at the OCAA Championships. The Hawks are just down the road in Malton, attempting to capture their first provincial championship in women's fastball history. Humber is the number 2 ranked team taking on the number 3 ranked Durham today at 1 o'clock. The tournament continues throughout the weekend at Wildwood Park. The men's and women's badminton team will be busy this weekend, partaking in this year's edition of the Humber Cup. The Cup drop features 5 draws, including men's and women's, singles and doubles. Humber has dominated the tournament for years and looks to continue their winning ways. The Hawks are led by Tracy Wong, who has been named champion 3 times in the past month. Catch the entire tournament with free admission at Humber's North Campus today and tomorrow. Unfortunately for Leafs fans, last night didn't go as planned for Toronto. Not only did they blow the lead, they lost the game 3-2 to Carolina, they also lost their goalie James Reimer to a head injury. Jonathan Bernier replaced Reimer and made 34 saves but allowed the game-winning goal on a bad bounce that banked off his skate and into the net. Head coach Randy Carlisle says fate caught up with the Maple Leafs last night.
You know, that's why I say the hockey gods got back at us. And it's amazing how things like this do happen over the course of a season, and it comes back to haunt you. We have to accept what happened, and again, we're going to continue to push for a higher level from our group.
The Leafs will likely turn to Jonathan Bernier to start Saturday night against the Stanley Cup champions in Chicago. On to the baseball diamond, where the Boston Red Sox are one win away from the World Series after defeating the Tigers last night in Detroit. Mike Napoli blasted his second home run in 3 games for Boston. John Lester went 5 1/3, giving up 2 earned runs, and Koji Uehara closed things out for the save. The Red Sox will face 21-game winner Max Scherzer for Game 6 tomorrow in Boston, starting at 4:30. That brings us to the game of the night, where the LA Dodgers will turn to 25-year-old Cy Young Award winner Clayton Kershaw in St. Louis tonight. In the regular season, Kershaw had the lowest ERA and the most strikeouts in the entire National League. The Cards counter with 22-year-old Michael Wacha. A win for LA keeps them alive for Game 7. A win for the Redbirds puts them in the World Series for the 4th time in 9 years. That's all for sports. I'm Jonathan Rumley. Now back to you in the studio.
Thanks, Jonathan. After the break, we'll get the latest in entertainment from Nicole Campea.
Justin Bieber releases info for his new single, Indie Week visits Toronto, and tons of movies hit the big screen tonight. I'll have all that and more after the break.